as you're working in this area. So for example, if you go, I got to work on my finances, it's different than you say, you know, I need to work on being my financial genius today. Because when you're feeling a financial genius, it makes you smile. It puts you in a different place. In these areas of your life, these categories of improvement, let's juice them up. Let's say, the area of your physical body, maybe we'll put a word or two there like world-class fitness, and then we want to create 2 or 3 roles, or maybe more. Who are you? You're an athlete. You're maybe an Adonis, right? Something humorous, something that'll juice you up, something that'll make you smile, something that'll say, wow, when I think about that, I want to go there. I want to spend time in that particular area of my life. I'm a pilot, for example. Saying I'm a pilot is interesting, but when I go, you know, I'm a licensed source of passion. That makes me laugh. That makes me smile. That allows me to share that feeling with other people in a different way. Let me give you some specific examples of how this could affect you. I had a woman who came to one of my seminars here for more time, and she was really frustrated, really depressed. And she raised her hand and she goes, well, what if you got categories, but you don't want to make any categories because you hate your job? I said, well, you know, let's talk about that for a second. What's your job? She goes, well, I'm a school teacher. And the look on her face made you know that she wasn't too terribly thrilled about it. So I said, well, what do you associate to being a school teacher? What are your roles as a school teacher? Because when you have an idea of who you are, you come up with these beliefs about what you are. She goes, well, I'm a disciplinarian. She goes, I'm basically the enforcer of the state's will. I'm a babysitter because their parents never took care of these kids, and so I have to constantly discipline and babysit them. And she was rather harsh. I said, ma'am, I understand how you feel, but can I ask you a question? Why did you originally become a school teacher? You obviously wanted to be that at one time. She goes, well, I don't know. I thought I could make a difference. I said, what did you really want to be? What did it being a school teacher mean to you back then? What was the role of that? And she said, I guess I wanted to be a developer of the human spirit. And you watched her whole face just all of a sudden change. I said, then why don't you just do that? Why don't you be a developer of the human spirit? And she said, well, I said, if you were a developer of the human spirit versus a teacher, what would the rules of the game be? Who would you be? What would you do? She goes, well, if I was a developer of the human spirit, I'd have to love every child in my class. And her whole face changed. She started to smile. I said, if you were a developer of the human spirit, what else would you have to do? She goes, well, I'd have to make learning fun. I'd have to get to know the parents and not make them wrong and help them to understand their own children and what's happening in their lives. And she went on and on and on. And I said, so how do you feel about your job? She goes, I got a career. And it was that second of shift that happens when we change what something means. Words have power. They change our biochemistry. You ever had somebody call you a particular word and felt the change in your body? Words have power, the right words. They change what things mean to us. I'll give you one other quick example. A woman comes to one of our seminars, very frustrated, stressed out, hates her job. What does she do? I'm a stockbroker on Wall Street. Well, what do you do as a stockbroker? Well, you got to go cold call a bunch of people and trying to give your money. And then you got to follow up all the time. And I just hate it. I said, okay, well, you can change the job. But before you do, you know what the problem with changing jobs is? You take you with you. You always think it's the company's the problem, and you go to a new job, it feels okay for a while, but pretty soon you're back to the same problems. I said, what we got to do is change your mentality, your psychology. I said, did you ever enjoy this? She goes, well, in the beginning, I was kind of excited about it. I said, let me ask you a question. What are you really being? What would be a role, a way of describing what you do that would make you grin from ear to ear? What do you really want to be? She goes, well, I want to be a mover and shaker. And I said, well, you're on Wall Street. You work for one of the biggest firms in the world. You're doing quite well. I said, maybe that's what you are. And all of a sudden she smiled and she goes, damn right I am. I said, what else are you? When you're making cold calls, forget that. Who do you want to be when you communicate with people on the phone? And she said, a treasure hunter. She said, I want to search for treasure. I want to help people. I want to get them to give me some of the money and go use it to find treasure for them and help them expand their treasure. And her entire psychology changed. So what I want you right now is I want you to take each of these categories you have, both in your personal life and professional life, and I want you to juice them up. Maybe make the name of the area a little bit more juicy, but most importantly, come up with 2 or 3 roles that make it fun to be there.